You got to get you the healthy, emotionally safe relationships you desire. So here are three simple and easy ways to be able to find somebody who's emotionally safe. See, there are three things that you need to be on the lookout for to find someone emotionally safe. Number one is context. And I know you're already confused. See, let's say you text a partner or a friend, hey, let's grab lunch or hang out. And they just say, no, I'm busy. You will then begin to overthink because their message did not have enough context. And the reason this causes you to overthink is because the lack of context creates uncertainty. You have probably linked uncertainty to abandonment due to your childhood. By the way, if you're somebody who has a core wound that says, I am disrespected, meaning that you perpetually think that people are disrespecting you, you will see this as rude. Even though you will also overthink, you will shut down, withdraw, or get defensive. If you are somebody who has the I am disrespected core wound or the abandonment core wound, to build emotionally safe relationships, you need to find somebody who gives context when they communicate. Meaning that they tell you why. For example, they say, no, I'm busy, I had a long day. They also tell you what they don't mean, which means they can also add, this doesn't mean I don't enjoy spending time with you. Then bonus, they also give reassurance, meaning that they'll add something like, I love your company. Now you have a part to play in this as well too. You also have to realize that when somebody's a direct communicator, it's not always them being rude or abandoning you. And a big part you do that is by removing these core wounds that you have internally. Because those internal core wounds will always skew your perception, meaning that they'll take neutral things and make them more threatening than they really are. Someone can say, no, I'm busy in a kind way, but your I am disrespected lenses paint the situation as rude. I know you're thinking, no, it is rude. Think of older people in your life who constantly text with just 3 words. It doesn't mean they're rude, they're just direct communicators. That was the end of scene 1. Context is king. And by the way, I have to say this. Somebody not giving context does not mean that they're necessarily a bad person or they're rude. I hear it all the time. If somebody says something like, no, I'm busy, they're mad, they're rude, disrespectful, they should know they have to give context. It's not that easy. Some people grew up in households where to be direct is good. To be direct is okay. In fact, think about all the older people you know. Think about maybe some of your parents or your older mentors. Chances are they text without emojis and they text very dryly and to the point. It's not that they're mad, it's not that they're rude, it's not that they're upset. That's just how they communicate. Now, gotta say now, if you're somebody who knows that when someone talks to you like that, it triggers you, whether your I am rejected core wound or I am abandoned core wound or I am disrespected core wound, if you know that when somebody talks to you that way, it triggers that, then you need to communicate that to your partner. Or you have to find somebody who communicates naturally with context. That way you're not getting those core wounds triggered, right? But we can't assume that our partners should automatically communicate the way we want them to, right? We all have different upbringings, different things mean different stuff to people. And so again, if you're somebody who has an abandonment wound, a rejection wound, a wound that says, I am disrespected, you're gonna need to either A, clearly communicate to your partner that you need them to communicate with context, or B, find someone who naturally communicates with context already. Or C, and I think my personal favorite, work on those core wounds, right? That way, as our partner is trying to get better at giving context, we're also working on dealing with the things internally that trigger us when they forget to give us that context, right? Creating more of that harmony in that dynamic. Number 2, you need somebody who practices interdependence. This is a big one because this is how you get yourself in trouble. Because you currently think that people who are self-sufficient are healthy. And although self-sufficient is good, hyper-independence is not. Because it keeps partners feeling isolated, lowers intimacy and connection, which actually hurts emotional safety. Whereas interdependence is the ability to be independent and dependent, which is a huge factor in healthy dynamics and emotional safety. If you are hyper-dependent, meaning that you think your partner is solely responsible for your emotions, that is also wrong. Not only should you depend on your partner, but you also need to have some level of independence as well too. And they should do the same too. Ooh. This one right here. It's messy in here. This one right here is big time. Okay, interdependence. Let me calm down. For all of you, oh my gosh. This is such a good one. For all of you who are sitting there thinking, okay, I'm always looking for somebody who can be alone. I'm looking for someone who has independence. You have to be careful. See, because there's a difference between independence and hyper independence. Let me say that again. Independence is a good thing. All healthy relationships have to require some level of independence. But what happens is that you look for people who say things like, I can be alone, I've been single for a while, I know all these things about myself, I tend to do things on my own, and you think that means that they're not going to be clingy and needy, so you say, oh, that person must be extremely healthy, not knowing that person is hyper independent, which actually hurts intimacy and connection. Because they don't depend on their partner, they leave their partners feeling isolated and leave their partners feeling like they're with a roommate because they're not needed. And also, by the way, relationships that are healthy also need a level of dependence. So you need interdependence, independence and dependence, right? So it's that independence and dependence, interdependence is what healthy relations are built on top of. But when somebody's hyper independent, it actually lowers connection. It lowers intimacy, which will always hurt the emotional safety of a relationship. So if you're trying to find someone who's emotionally safe, look for someone who is interdependent, meaning that they have the ability to be dependent on. They're okay depending on you. Why did I just go blank? What did I say in the drawings? They can depend on you. You can depend on them, you can depend on yourself, and you can depend on them as well too, right? So those are the 4 elements of interdependence, both of you being able to be independent and simultaneously depend on your partner. The better you're able to determine if somebody is interdependent versus hyper independent, the better suited you are to actually have someone who is emotionally safe. And it's easy. If you want to determine how somebody is when it comes to the whole independence scale, ask them what you can do for them pretty early on in dating. If they say nothing, I'm good, ask them again, what can I take off your plate? If they say nothing, I'm good, ask them, what's a way I can emotionally support you? If they say nothing, I'm good, or any variation of that, chances are that person is either A, hyper independent, or B, has trust issues, which is another battle in itself. Let's get back to the drawing. Now we finally find ourselves in part 3. This one has to do with repair. Basically, how does somebody handle conflict? And finally, we find ourselves with repair. Repair is important. We don't want nobody who does the conflict resolution skill sets, right? Just trying to get in, get out, trying to solve the issue and get out. We want someone who is not only able to help us get to a solution eventually, but on the path to getting to the solution, there's validation, there's empathy, there's reassurance, there's understanding. There's nothing more frustrating than communicating an issue to a partner or being in conflict and then disregarding, dismissing your feelings en route to trying to get to a solution. I know I got people out there who are saying, what's the point of this? We should just get to the solution so we can all feel better. I get it. Some people need to be validated on the process to getting to that solution, right? Because that's what happens when you try to get to the solution too soon. People don't feel validated or understood. And that's how you keep having the same issue brought up over and over. And you're wondering why my partner keeps bringing this up. Is because they did not feel seen, heard, and understood the first time they brought it up. And so if you're looking for someone who's emotionally safe, look for somebody who's able to validate you during conflict, who's able to hear you during conflict, who's able to make you feel understood during conflict, and who is okay sitting in the negative emotions for a period of time before getting to a solution only when you ask for a solution. Okay, a lot of times people who find it hard to actually sit with you in uncomfortable emotions is because your uncomfortable emotions trigger stuff inside of them, right? If you have a partner who's very hyper independent, someone who's dismissive avoidant, your negative emotions makes them feel like they are bad or they are defective or they are not good enough or they are unappreciated, which is why they either try to A, solve the situation quickly so they can get away from those negative emotions, or B, they're trying to run from the emotions because of the discomfort, which is why they withdraw, shut down, or ghost. So yeah, check out those 3 things. Help you go ahead and find someone emotionally safe. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about next, I guess, in the chat. And yeah, later.